Hi guys, I'm back. Today I'm going to read Leviticus 7 to 12, Proverbs 15, and Psalm 100. Let's get started. This is the law of the guilt offering. It is most holy. In the place where they kill the burnt offering, they shall pull the guilt offering, and its blood shall be thrown against the sides of the altar, and all its fat shall be offered: the fat tail, the fat that covers the entrails, the 2 kidneys with the fat that is on them at the loins, and the long lobe of the liver that he shall remove with the kidneys. The priest shall burn them on the altar as a food offering to the Lord. It is a guilt offering. Every male among the priests may eat of it. It shall be eaten in a holy place. It is most holy. The guilt offering is just like the sin offering, and there is one law for them. The priest who makes atonement with it shall have it. And the priest who offers any man's burnt offering shall have for himself the skin of the burnt offering that he has offered. And every grain offering baked in the oven, and all that is prepared on a pan or a griddle shall belong to the priest who offers it. And every grain offering mixed with oil shall be shed, oil or dry, shall be shed equally among all the sons of Aaron. This is the law of the sacrifice of peace offerings, that one may offer to the Lord. And if he offers it for thanksgiving, he shall offer with the thanksgiving sacrifice unleavened loaves mixed with olive oil. Unleavened wafers smeared with oil, and those with fine flour mixed with oil. With the sacrifice of the peace offerings for thanksgiving, he shall bring his offering with loaves of unleavened bread, and from it he shall offer 1 loaf from each offering as a gift to the Lord. And it shall belong to the priest who throws the blood of the peace offerings, and the flesh of the sacrifice of his peace offerings, and thanksgiving shall be eaten on the day of his offering. He shall not leave any of it until the morning. If the sacrifice of his offering is a vow offering or a free will offering, it shall be eaten on the day that he offers the sacrifice, or on the next day. What remains of it shall be eaten, of what remains of the flesh of the sacrifice. On the 3rd day shall be burnt up with fire. If any of the flesh of the sacrifice of his peace offering is eaten on the 3rd day, he who offers it shall not be accepted, neither shall it be credited to him. It is tainted, and he who eats of it shall bear its iniquity. Flesh that touches any unclean thing shall not be eaten. It shall be burned up with fire. All who are clean may eat flesh, but the person who eats of the flesh of the sacrifice of the Lord's peace offering, while uncleanness is on him, a person shall be cut off from his people. And if anyone touches an unclean thing, whether human uncleanness, or an unclean beast, or any unclean detestable creature, and then eat some flesh from the sacrifice of the Lord's peace offerings, that person shall be cut off from his people. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to the people of Israel, saying, You shall eat no fat, of ox, or sheep, or goat, and the fat of an animal that dies of itself, and the fat of one that is called by beast, may be put to any other use, but on no account shall you eat it. For every person who eats of the fat of an animal of which a food offering may be made to the Lord shall be cut off from his people. Moreover, you shall eat no blood, whether fowl or of animal, nor in any of your dwelling places. Whoever eats any blood, that person shall be cut off from his people." And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to the people of Israel, saying, Whoever offers the sacrifice of his peace offerings to the Lord shall bring his offering to the Lord from the sacrifice of his peace offerings. His own hand shall bring the Lord's food offerings. He shall bring the fat with the breast, that the breast may be waved as a wave offering before the Lord. The priest shall burn the fat on the altar, but the breast shall be for Aaron and his sons. And the right thigh you shall give to the priest as a contribution for the sacrifice of your peace offerings. Whoever among the sons of Aaron offers the blood of the peace offerings, and the fat shall have the right thigh for a portion. For on the breast that is waved, and the thigh that is contributed, I have taken from the people of Israel, and the sacrifices of their peace offering, and I have given them to Aaron the priest and to his son, as a perpetual duty on the people of Israel. This is a portion of Aaron and of his sons from the Lord's food offering. On the day they were presented to serve as priests of the Lord. And the Lord commanded this to be given by the people of Israel on the day that he anointed them. It is a perpetual due throughout their generations. This is the law of the burnt offering, of the grain offering, of the sin offering, of the guilt offering, of the ordination offering, and of the peace offering, which the Lord commanded Moses on Mount Sinai, on the day that he commanded the people of Israel to bring their offerings to the Lord in the wilderness of Sinai. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Take Aaron and his sons with him, and the garments and the anointing oil, and the bull of the sin offering, and the 2 rams, and the basket of unleavened bread, and assembled all the congregation at the entrance of the tent of meeting. And Moses did as the Lord commanded him, and the congregation was assembled at the entrance of the tent of meeting. And Moses said to the congregation, "This is the thing that the Lord has commanded to be done." And Moses brought Aaron and his sons and washed them with water. And he put the coat on him, and tied the sash around his waist, and clothed him with the robe, and put the ephod on him, and tied the skillfully woven band of the ephod around him, binding it to him with the band. And he placed the breastpiece on it, and in the breastpiece he put the Urim and the Thummim. And he set the turban on his head, and on the turban in front he set the golden plate, the holy crown, as the Lord commanded Moses. And Moses took the anointing oil, and anointed the tabernacle and all that was in it, and consecrated it. And he sprinkled some of it on the altar 7 times, and anointed the altar, and its all the temples and the basin and the stand, to consecrate them. And he poured some of the anointing oil on Aaron's head, and anointed him to consecrate him. And Moses brought Aaron's sons and clothed them with coats, and tied sashes around their waists, and bound up caps on them, as the Lord commanded Moses. And he brought the bull of the sin offering, and Aaron and his sons laid their hands on the head of the sin offering, and he killed it. And Moses took the blood with his finger, put it in, and with his finger put it on the horns of the altar around, and purified the altar, and poured out the blood at the base of the altar, and consecrated it, to make atonement for it. And he took all the fat out on the entrails and the long lobe of the liver, and the 2 kidneys with their fat, and Moses bound them on the altar, with the bull and its skin and its flesh, and its tongue he bound out with fire outside the camp, as the Lord commanded Moses. And he presented the ram with the burnt offering. And Aaron and his sons laid their hands on the head of the ram, and he killed it. And Moses threw the blood against the sides of the altar. He cut the ram into pieces, and Moses burned the head and the pieces and the fat. He washed the entrails and the legs with water. And Moses burned the whole ram on the altar. It was a burnt offering with a pleasing aroma, a food offering for the Lord, as the Lord commanded Moses. And then he presented the other ram of ordination, and Aaron and his sons laid their hands on the head of the ram, and he killed it. And Moses took some of its blood and put it on the lobe of Aaron's right ear, and on the thumb of his right hand, and on the big toe of his right foot. And he presented Aaron's sons, and Moses put some of the blood on the lobes of their right ears, and on the thumbs of their right hands, and on the big toes of their right feet. And Moses threw the blood against the sides of the altar. And then he took the fat and the fat tail, and all the fat that was on the entrails, and on the long lobe of the liver, and the 2 kidneys with their fat, and the right thigh. And out of the basket of unleavened bread that was before the Lord, he took one unleavened loaf on one thigh, and he put all these in the hands of Aaron and in the hands of his son, and waved them as a wave offering before the Lord. And Moses took them from their hands and burned them on the altar with the burnt offering. This was an ordination offering with a pleasing aroma, a food offering to the Lord. And Moses took the breast and waved it for a wave offering before the Lord. It was Moses' portion of the ram of ordination, as the Lord commanded Moses. And Moses took some of the anointing oil and the blood that was on the altar, and sprinkled it on Aaron and his garments, and those on his sons and his sons' garments. So he consecrated Aaron and his garments, and his sons' garments with him. And then Moses said to Aaron and his sons, "Boil the flesh at the entrance of the tent of meeting, and there eat it, and the bread that is in the basket of ordination offering." And I commanded, saying, "Aaron and his sons shall eat it, and what remains of the flesh and the bread you shall burn with fire. And you shall not go outside the entrance of the tent of meeting for 7 days, until the days of your ordination are complete. But it will take 7 days to ordain you. And as has been done today, as the Lord has commanded it to be done, to make atonement for you, at the entrance of the tent of meeting you shall remain day and night for 7 days, performing what the Lord has charged, so that you do not die. For so I have been commanded." And Aaron and his sons did all the things that the Lord commanded by Moses. On the 8th day, Moses called Aaron and his sons and the elders of Israel, and he said to Aaron, "Take for yourself a bull calf for a sin offering, and a ram for a burnt offering, both without blemish, and offer them before the Lord. And say to the people of Israel, take a male goat for a sin offering, and a calf and a lamb, both a year old, without blemish, for a burnt offering, and an ox and a ram for peace offering, to sacrifice before the Lord, and a grain offering mixed with oil. For today the Lord will appear to you." And they brought what Moses commanded in front of the tent of meeting, and all the congregation drew near and stood before the Lord. And Moses said, "This is the thing that the Lord commanded you to do, that the glory of the Lord may appear to you." And Moses said to Aaron, "Go near to the altar and offer your sin offering and your burnt offering, and make atonement for yourself and for the people, and bring the offering of the people and make atonement for them, as the Lord has commanded. So Aaron drew near to the altar and killed the calf with the sin offering, which was for himself. And the sons of Aaron presented the blood to him. And he dipped his finger in the blood and put on the horns of the altar, and poured out the blood at the base of the altar. But the fat and the kidneys and the long lobe of the liver from the sin offering he burned on the altar, as the Lord commanded Moses. The flesh and skin he burned up with fire outside the camp. And he killed the burnt offering. And Aaron's sons handed him the blood, and he threw it against the sides of the altar. And they handed the burnt offering to him, piece by piece, and the head, and he burned them on the altar. And he washed the entrails and the legs, and burned them with the burnt offering on the altar. And he presented the people's offering, and took the goat of the sin offering that was for the people, and killed it and offered it according to the rule. Then he presented the grain offering, took a handful of it, and burned it on the altar, besides the burnt offering of the morning. Then he killed the ox and the ram, the sacrifice of peace offerings for the people. And Aaron's sons handed him the blood, and he threw it against the sides of the altar. But the fat pieces of the ox and of the ram, and the fat tail and that which covers the entrails, and the kidneys and the long lobe of the liver, and they put the fat pieces on the breasts, and he burned the fat pieces on the altar. But the breast and the right thigh Aaron waved for a wave offering before the Lord, as Moses commanded. Then Aaron lifted up his hands and toward the people and blessed them. And he came down from offering the sin offering and the burnt offering and the peace offerings. And Moses and Aaron went into the tent of meeting. And they came out, they blessed the people, and the glory of the Lord appeared to all the people. And fire came out from before the Lord, and consumed the burnt offering and the pieces of fat on the altar. And when all the people saw it, they shouted and fell on their faces. Now Nadab and Abihu, the sons of Aaron, each took a censer and put fire in it, and laid incense on it, and offered unauthorized fire before the Lord, which he had not commanded them. And fire came out from before the Lord, and consumed them. And they died before the Lord. And Moses said to Aaron, "This is what the Lord has said. Among those who are near me, I will be sanctified, and before all the people I will be glorified." And Aaron held his peace. And Moses called Mishael and Elzaphan, the sons of Israel, the uncle of Aaron, and said to them, "Come near, carry your brothers away from the front of the sanctuary and out of the camp." So they came near and carried them and their coats out of the camp. And Moses said to Aaron and to Eleazar and Ithamar his sons, "Do not let the hair of your heads hang loose, and do not tear your clothes, lest you die, and wrath come upon all the congregation that led your brothers, the whole house of Israel. Beware of the burning that the Lord has kindled, and do not go outside the entrance of the tent of meeting, lest you die, for the anointing oil of the Lord is upon you." And they did according to the word of Moses. And the Lord spake to Aaron, saying, "Drink no wine or strong drink, you or your sons with you, when you go into the tent of meeting, lest you die. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations. You are to distinguish between the holy and the common, and between the unclean and the clean. And you are to teach the people of Israel all the statutes that the Lord has spoken to them by Moses." Moses spoke to Aaron and to Eleazar and Ithamar, his surviving sons, "Take the grain offering that is left of the Lord's food offerings, and eat it unleavened beside the altar, for it is most holy. And you shall eat it in a holy place, because it is your due and your son's due, among the Lord's food offerings. So I am commanded. As the breast that has waved and the thigh that has contributed, you shall eat in a clean place, you and your sons and your daughters with you. And they are given as your due and your son's due from the sacrifices of the peace offering of the people of Israel. As far as that has contributed, and the breast that has waved, they shall bring with the food offerings of the fat priests who wave for a wave offering before the Lord. And it shall be yours and your sons with you as a due forever, as the Lord has commanded." Now Moses was diligently inquired about the goat of the sin offering, and behold, it was burned up. And he was angry with Eleazar and Ithamar, the surviving sons of Aaron, saying, "Why have you not eaten the sin offering in the places of the sanctuary, since it is the thing most holy and has been given to you, that you may bear the iniquity of the congregation, to make atonement for them before the Lord? Behold, his blood was not brought into the inner part of the sanctuary. You certainly ought to have eaten it in the sanctuary, as I command." And Aaron said to Moses, "Behold, today they have offered their sin offering and their burnt offering before the Lord. And yet such things of these have happened to me. If I had eaten the sin offering today, would the Lord have approved?" And when Moses heard that, he approved. And the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying to them, "Speak to the people of Israel, saying, These are the living things that you may eat among all the animals that are on the earth. Whatever parts the hoof and is cloven-footed and chews the cud among the animals you may eat. Nevertheless, among those that chew the cud or part the hoof, you shall not eat these. The camel, because it chews the cud but does not part the hoof, is unclean to you. And the rock badger, because it chews the cud but does not part the hoof, is unclean to you. and the hare, because it chews the cud but does not part the hoof, and the pig, because it parts the hoof and is cloven-footed but does not chew the cud, is unclean to you. And you shall not eat any of their flesh, and you shall not touch their carcasses. They are unclean to you. Whereas you may eat they of all that are in the waters, everything in the waters that spins and scales, whether in the seas or in the rivers, you may eat. But anything in the seas or the river that does not have fins or scales, of the swimming creatures in the waters, of the waters, and of the living creatures that are in the waters, is detestable to you. And you shall regard them as detestable. You shall not eat any of their flesh. And you shall detest their carcasses. Everything in their waters that does not have fish and scales is detestable to you. And these you shall detest among the birds. They shall not be eaten. They are detestable: the eagle, the bearded vulture, and the black vulture, the kite, the falcon of any kind, every raven of any kind, the ostrich, the nighthawk, the seagull, the hawk of any kind, the little owl, the common the short-eared owl, the barn owl, the tawny owl, the carrion vulture, the stork, the heron of any kind, the hoopoe, and the bat. All winged insects that go on all fours are detestable to you. Yet among the winged insects that go on all fours you may eat those who have joined legs above their feet, with which to hop on the ground. Of them you may eat the locust of any kind, the bold locust of any kind, the cricket of any kind, and the grasshopper of any kind. But all other winged insects that have 4 feet are detestable to you, and by these you shall become unclean. Whoever touches their carcass shall be unclean until the evening, and whoever carries any part of their carcass shall wash his clothes and be unclean until the evening. Every animal that parts the hoof but is not cloven-footed and does not chew the cud is unclean to you. Everyone who touches them shall be unclean, and all that walk on their paws among the animals that go on all fours are unclean to you. Whoever touches their carcass will be unclean until the evening, and he who carries their carcass shall wash his clothes and be unclean until the evening. They are unclean to you, and these are unclean to you among the swarming things that swarm on the ground: the mole rat, the mouse, the great lizard of any kind, the gecko, the monitor lizard, the sand lizard, and the chameleon. These are unclean to you among all that swarm. Whoever touches them when they are dead shall be unclean until the evening. If anything on which any of them falls when they are dead shall be unclean. It is an article of wood or a garment or skin or sack, any article that is used for any purpose, it must be put into water, and it shall be unclean until the evening. Then it shall be clean. And if any of them falls into any earthenware vessel, all that is in it shall be unclean, and you shall break it. And any food that is in it could be eaten, on which water comes, shall be unclean, and all drink that could be drunk on from every such vessel shall be unclean. And everything on which any part of their carcass falls shall be unclean. Whether oven or stove, it shall be broken in pieces. And they are unclean and shall remain unclean for you. Nevertheless, a spring or a cistern holding water shall be clean. But whoever touches the carcass in them shall be unclean. If any part of their carcass falls upon any seed grain that is to be sown, it is clean. But if water is put on the seed and any part of their carcass falls on it, it is unclean to you. And if any animal to which whom you eat dies, whoever touches its carcass shall be unclean until the evening. And whoever eats of its carcass shall wash his clothes and be unclean until the evening. And whoever carries the carcass shall wash his clothes and be unclean until the evening. Every swarming thing that goes on the ground and swarms on the ground is detestable. It shall not be eaten. Whatever goes on its belly, and whatever goes on all fours, or whatever has many feet, any swarming thing that swarms on the ground, you shall not eat, for they are detestable. You shall not make yourselves detestable with any swarming thing that swarms, and you shall not defile yourselves with them, and become unclean to you. For I am the Lord your God. Consecrate yourselves, therefore, and be holy, for I am holy. You shall not defile yourselves with any swarming thing that crawls on the ground. For I am the Lord who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. You shall therefore be holy, for I am holy. This is the law about beast and bird, and every living creature that moves through the water, and every creature that swarms on the ground. Make a distinction between the unclean and the clean, and between the living creature that may be eaten, and the living creature that may not be eaten. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the people of Israel, saying, If a woman conceives and bears a male child, then she shall be unclean 7 days. As at the time of her menstruation, he shall be unclean, and on the 8th day the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised. And she shall continue for 33 days in the blood of her purifying. She shall not touch anything holy, nor come into the sanctuary until the days of her purifying are completed. And if she bears a female child, then she shall be unclean 2 weeks, as in her menstruation, and she shall continue in the blood of her purifying for 66 days. And when the days of her purifying are completed, whether for a son or for a daughter, He shall bring to the priest at the entrance of the tent of meeting a lamb a year old for a burnt offering, and a pigeon or a turtle dove for a sin offering. And he shall offer it before the Lord, and make atonement for her. And she shall be clean from the flow of her blood. This is the law for her who bears a child, either male or female. And if she cannot afford a lamb, then she shall take 2 turtle doves or 2 pigeons, one for a burnt offering and the other for a sin offering. And the priest shall make atonement for her, and she shall be clean. Proverbs 15. A soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. The tongue of the wise commands knowledge, but the mouth of fools pours out folly. The eyes of the Lord are in every place, keeping watch on the evil and the good. A gentle tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness in it breaks the spirit. A fool despises his father's instruction, but whoever heeds reproof is prudent. In the house of the righteous there is much treasure, but trouble with fools is the income of the wicked. The lips of the wise spread knowledge, not so the hearts of fools. The sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination to the Lord, but the prayer of the upright is acceptable to him. The way of the wicked is an abomination to the Lord, but he loves him who pursues righteousness. There is severe discipline for him who forsakes the way. Whoever hates reproof will die. Shall one abandon my open book of the law? How much more the hearts of the children of man? The scholar does not like to be reproved, and he will not go to the wise. A glad heart girl makes a cheerful face. A by sorrow of heart the spirit is crushed. The heart of him who is understanding seeks knowledge, but the mouth of fools feed on folly. All the days of the afflicted are evil, but the cheerful heart has a continual feast. Better is little with the fear of the Lord than great treasure and trouble with it. Better is a dinner of herbs with lovers and a fattened ox and hatred with it. A hard-tempered man stirs a strife, but he who is slow to anger quiets contention. The way of a sluggard is like a hedge of thorns, but the path of the upright is a level highway. The wise son is a glad father, but a foolish man despises his mother. Folly is a joy to him who lacks sense, but a man of understanding walks straight ahead. Without counsel plans fail, but with many advice they succeed. To make steps answer is a joy to one man, and a word in season how good it is. The path of life leads upward for the prudent, and he may turn away from the soul beneath. And the Lord tears down the house of the proud, but maintains the widow's boundaries. The thoughts of the wicked are an abomination to the Lord. But gracious words are pure, but whoever is greedy for unjust gain troubles his own household, but he who hates bribes will live. The heart of the righteous ponders how to answer, but the mouth of the wicked pours out evil things. And the Lord is far from the wicked, but he hears the prayer of the righteous. The light of the eyes rejoices the heart, and good news refreshes the bones. The ear that listens to life-giving reproof will dwell among the wise. Whoever ignores instruction despises himself, but he who listens to reproof gains intelligence. The fear of the Lord is instruction and wisdom, and humility comes before honor. Psalm 108. My heart is steadfast, O God. I will sing and make melody with all my being. I will wake a harp and lyre. I will awake the dawn. I will give thanks to you, O Lord, among the peoples. I will sing praises to you among the nations. For your steadfast love is a great above the heavens. Your faithfulness reaches to the clouds. Ye exalt, O God, above the heavens. Let your glory be over all the earth. How your beloved ones may be delivered. Give salvation by your right hand and answer me. God has promised in his holiness. With exaltation I will divide up Shechem, and portion out the valley of Succoth. Gilead is mine, Manasseh is mine. Ephraim is my heritage, Judah my scepter. Moab is my wash basin, and upon Edom I cast my shoe. Over Philistia I shout and triumph. Who will bring me to the fortified city? Who will lead me to Edom? Have you not rejected us, O God? You do not go out, O God, without armies. Proclaim hell against the foe. For vain is the salvation of man. With God we shall do valiantly. Is he who will tread down our foes. When thou hast done, I shall know to the Lord's prayer. These my hands, our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our debts, as you also forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For yours is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. See you tomorrow. Bye.